He's amazing feet and an amazing attacker, but that's only the part of the Cheslin Kolbe. He's an amazing individual, he's very professional, and he's got a big kicking boot, and his physicality for a guy who's relatively small, and that's something people are always going to say Cheslin's too small, but you've got to see him play. It doesn't matter the size of him, it's how good he is in the physical situations, but he's very good.
The 2019 Rugby World Cup final, England versus South Africa. The biggest stage in rugby. A 5'7" winger faces off against players towering nearly a foot above him. What happens next would change rugby forever. This isn't just about Cheslin Kolbe's famous try, it's about how one of the smallest players in modern rugby revolutionised the sport. What made this lightning-fast winger from Cape Town become one of rugby's most feared attackers? In the tough streets of Kraaifontein, Cape Town, a young Cheslin Kolbe was already defying expectations. Born in 1993 into a rugby-obsessed family, his father Andrew recognised something special in his son's quick feet and fearless attitude. But in a nation where rugby players were expected to be built like tanks, Kolbe faced an uphill battle. Local coaches would shake their heads. Too small, they'd say. Rugby's not for him. But in those same streets where he faced rejection, Kolbe was developing something extraordinary. His father would set up makeshift obstacle courses in their backyard, teaching young Cheslin the footwork that would one day mystify the world's best defenders. Every weekend, while other kids were trying to run through defenders, Kolbe was learning to dance around them. His small stature, initially seen as a weakness, became his greatest strength. He learned to use his low centre of gravity to his advantage, developing a sidestep so devastating it would later leave international defenders grabbing at thin air. At Hoërskool Brackenfell, Kolbe began turning heads. It wasn't just his attacking flair that caught attention, it was his fearless defence. Here was a teenager who, despite his size, would fearlessly tackle players twice his weight. His technique was perfect, low, powerful and precise. He had to be. At his size, there was no room for error.
He'll have a go. Big and strong as a Jack Dixon, still pumping those legs. Those
powers there as well. More advantage for South Africa. Players out to the right. Advantage for being offside. Here goes South Africa. Africa may have the last.
By 2012, Kolbe was starring for Western Province in the Currie Cup. His performances were electric, scoring tries that seemed to defy physics. But national selectors remained unconvinced. The prevailing wisdom was clear. Test rugby was too physical, too intense for someone his size. The statistics told a different story. His tackle completion rate was among the highest in the competition. His ability to break the first tackle was unmatched. Yet the Springbok call-up remained elusive. Kolbe knew he needed to make a bold move to prove his worth. Enter Toulouse, the French rugby giants. In 2017, they made a decision that would transform both their fortunes and Kolbe's career. When they signed him, French rugby experts called it a gamble. Some even labelled it a publicity stunt. How wrong they would be. In France, Kolbe didn't just succeed, he revolutionised how the game was played. His acceleration left defenders stunned. His sidestep became the talk of European rugby. The French fans gave him the nickname La Pousse, the flea, a testament to his ability to irritate and escape from the biggest defenders. Within his first season, he helped Toulouse return to their glory days. The team built their attacking strategy around his unique abilities. Suddenly, those who had doubted him were studying his game, trying to understand how someone so small could have such a massive impact. What makes Kolbe different isn't just his size.
From Malvaka, Kolbe again on the outside, inside, stop down, he's done him twice, and he'll race round for the second.
It's his extraordinary physical capabilities. The average elite rugby player needs 2.7 seconds to reach top speed. Kolbe does it in 1.9 seconds. His acceleration from a standing start is among the fastest ever recorded in professional rugby. His signature sidestep isn't just about agility, it's about physics. His low centre of gravity, combined with explosive power in his legs, creates change of direction forces that bigger players physically can't match. When Kolbe steps, he can shift his body weight faster than the human eye can track. But it's not just natural talent. Behind the scenes, Kolbe's training regime is legendary. Hours spent on plyometric exercises to build explosive power, endless repetitions of footwork drills, video analysis of defenders' positioning. Every aspect of his game is meticulously crafted and refined. His tackling technique, often cited as a potential weakness, has become a masterclass in efficiency. By targeting opponents' legs and using their momentum against them, Kolbe has turned his size into an advantage. His low tackle height, combined with perfect timing, makes him one of the most reliable defenders in the game. The 2019 Rugby World Cup in Japan was Kolbe's moment to prove himself on the biggest stage. Throughout the tournament, he produced moments of magic that left audiences breathless. But it was in the final against England where he would write his name into rugby immortality.
To the 95 World Cup victory from South Africa. What an effort from this Springbok team.
And you know the result when he lines up now. In that kind of range, Pollard, another 2 on the board. It's a 20-point difference.
With South Africa leading but the game still in the balance, Kolbe received the ball on the right wing. What happened next would be forever etched in rugby history. 1 step, 2 steps, and suddenly he was gone, leaving Owen Farrell, one of the world's best defenders, clutching at thin air. That try didn't just seal the World Cup for South Africa, it sealed Kolbe's legacy as one of rugby's greatest game changers. 4 years later, at the 2023 World Cup in France, Kolbe evolved his game even further. His charge-down try against New Zealand in the pool stages showed a new dimension to his play. He wasn't just evading giants anymore, he was outthinking them. His role in South Africa's historic back-to-back World Cup victory cemented his place among rugby's elite. The statistics from both tournaments tell a remarkable story. Over 90% tackle completion rate, more defenders beaten per carry than any other player, and the highest success rate in one-on-one situations. But numbers don't capture the electricity he brought to every match, the way crowds would rise to their feet whenever he touched the ball. Look at rugby today, and Kolbe's influence is everywhere. More teams are recruiting smaller, explosive players. Academies that once rejected players under 6 feet are now actively seeking the next Cheslin Kolbe. The game is changing, becoming more about skill and speed than just size and power. In Kraaifontein, where his journey began, young players no longer hear that they're too small for rugby. Instead, they're told to be like Cheslin. His impact extends beyond just inspiring smaller players. He's changed how the game is coached at all levels. Professional teams have revised their training methods, incorporating more agility and acceleration work. Defensive systems have had to evolve to deal with players who can change direction at full speed.
Things happen, and look at Louis Biel,
The very nature of what makes a complete rugby player has been redefined. But perhaps Kolbe's greatest legacy is the belief he's instilled in others. Every weekend, on rugby fields across the world, smaller players are being given chances they might never have had before. They're being judged not by their size, but by their skill, their heart, and their determination. Today, in those same streets of Kraaifontein, where Kolbe was told he was too small, kids are practicing their sidesteps, dreaming bigger than ever. But here's what's keeping rugby coaches up at night. What if Cheslin Kolbe isn't the exception? What if he's just the beginning? As the game evolves and new players emerge, one question remains. Who will be the next to redefine what's possible in rugby? Because Cheslin Kolbe didn't just change how small players are viewed, he changed how the game itself is played. The next time you watch a rugby match, pay attention to those moments when a smaller player receives the ball. Watch how the crowd leans forward in anticipation. That's the Kolbe effect. That's his legacy. And that's why his story isn't just about rugby, it's about proving that sometimes the biggest dreams come in the smallest packages. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay updated on our latest content. Have any questions or topics you'd like us to cover? Drop them in the comments below. Until next time.